Queasy though, this is not looking good. Shai, why would you say they were gonna win this game, bro? Like, why did you say that?
I'm wondering who the team is that's actually like targeting them from all the way up.
Good boys. We're watching FNCS right now, so
One of those aggressive
let's
teams.
do this.
Maybe someone that was just left over all the way on the north side and really hadn't seen anyone so far.
I am going to.
Surge Hen is gone. 95 points is where they stop for now. One of the biggest things and patterns that we've seen in the EU is some of these earlier teams, Levin, get a win, get a little bit of momentum going, but then by game 3, 4, they disappear. And it looks like that is the character trait for Hen and Queasy so far right now.
Yeah,
Going to
that just shows to anybody watching just how quickly things can
move my cam right here.
incredibly comfortable and good.
Yes, guys, I know my hair is like kind of trimming off, but
Noah, Vidil trying to wrap around the side of this hill as they make their journey to zone. Nobody around them, which may seem good for now, but the moment people sort of get their
yes, I
eyes on
think
them,
this
could
is
be
EU, I believe.
tough situation.
Yeah, it says Europe up in the
Move them
top corner here, so.
as quickly as possible, and I do think they'll actually be fine here, but caught on the edge of this hill. Yeah, I guess spacing up against the rock, refarming is probably going to be their best bet. That's what they'll go for.
That's just unbelievable. Imagine at the start of this game doing like Fortnite trivia and being like, which one of these leads to a better outcome?
So
right?
31
Someone who has to break 2 of their own
31 duos left.
while starting the game in a vault they can't open, or a team that is in first place in this tournament, has a pad, has zone, and has everything going for them. I mean, that is just insane. Right now, I drop in Jerky.
I do not, Chad, I don't know how
Plus,
they
it's every
play
single
with these
game.
weapons
All the
like
blocking
in big
thing, I mean,
tournaments
this is
because like the weapons for me are like so weird.
Jeez. Or
I'm not used to them at all.
It's doing a lot of the damage too. It's nuts from Jerky and I drop.
Yeah, these guys have been really effective in almost every lobby they've been in. And I think this will be another game. Look, they'll be looking at Queasy Hanger and yeah, launch pad, smaunch pad. We don't need all that. We'll get a height regardless. Got a launch pad in the hands of Seti and Cammy. It'll be really nice. We saw they had one a couple games ago, but it didn't quite go their way. Seti got caught out on the zone transition. He fell asleep for a moment, which is something rare. Resub talks about how he doesn't really make mistakes, and that is true. Maybe it was just a blimp in the code.
2 blips all around from multiple teams right now. It seems like what once was a very easy game to rotate into just becomes more and more difficult for every single team. Even now, moving straight up to one of the highest points that's available right now, where the least amount of teams are, all the way towards the left. You can see the congestion at the bottom side of that mini-map on the bottom right that will pop up in just a second. You have to deal with this rotation that is so claustrophobic, and Storm Surge as well for, I guess, just one of these teams. It's Luca and Felix right now waiting for one player to go down. I mean, they talk about it.
Guys, join up.
It's just worth for one teammates to
Link is somewhere in this.
just go
Join up. We're watching FNCS on
save the
YouTube.
match. Just
Join up.
shields, you're able to just move.
Yeah, sometimes it is like you genuinely do get to a stage where you go, look, we are not both surviving. Just do everything you can to do a bit of damage. But I think we're far past that point for that duo. Jerky and I drop will do well to get the loot out of that one.
Is the pad working?
I think they deactivated the pad in the meantime, so that might be awkward for a team that we really expected to do well. We'll follow up on that later, but in the meantime, Mandelet's Squeeze find themselves in zone.
I'm just paying attention to that feed. I think they were trying to mine it out and use a pad of their own. Nope. Jerky going down. I'm wondering if iDrop has the same fate. Maybe they did something to maybe get in. I know he was the one actively using the splashes. He had the white heals. He finally gets taken out to the zone. Maybe iDrop can make the best out of this game.
It's uploading, so yeah.
Or all the way up top.
Hopefully we should get people in
They
here.
have one less threat to deal with in the lobby now. Once again, 2 launch pads to use as well from this location. I mean, I know Aqua's looming somewhere. He's ready to go, but I feel like this is enough of an arsenal to stop the beast.
Yeah, this could be very, very fun. I don't expect to see them playing high ground. I wouldn't get too excited, but definitely going to be key to their ability to just absolutely control those mid and low ground layers. And you can see iDrop now as a solo. What can he do?
Vino here, they're ready to actually strike, looking for a little bit of a controlling high ground spot early. They're about to just ramp onto it, but side otherwise. 2 pads for Aqua as well. Huge tools to use. A weapon of destruction when it's in this man's hands. Analyst like squeeze. Looks like they see an Elim, or at least had one of their own knocks, and go straight forward to pick it up. It might just be very good court vision, basically, from both these players to know exactly where to be, have that refresh, pick up a keg as well, get towards this spot, front side of the zone. It is a powerful game from Analyx and Squeeze right now. Meanwhile, Aqua's all the way up top bullying Wafflard. He easily has high ground, just have to use one of these pads, and now he's bullying every team he can sense and see down below.
Yeah, with iDrop and Zurich out of the picture.
Oh dang, Aqua's.
Easy in the head, not looking too shy. But this is really the only team
God, it's like World
have
Cup.
dominant say on the height. They love it up there. And we'll see whether they can get more eliminations. I'm sure he'll be looking up thinking, oh, wow, I wish I could be there. I wish I could join them. But in the meantime, he just needs to stay alive. He needs to hit some big shots on the way as well. No, he goes down. Seti and Cammy using some of them launch pads now. And they get to the front of the zone. But can they clear out this layer and keep themselves in this one? A bit low on HP, but they have the means to get themselves back up. Aqua and Vino will stay on height. Not many teams contesting them there.
7 zone out of 9. Oh my.
They may be having some very, very exciting thoughts about what they can do to win this game.
Look at the zone 2 just being clamped down on low ground. Meldit, Dirty down below have to make this insane climb up a very, very steep hill. This is going to be so tough for these low ground teams. Analyx and Squeeze have kind of made that high jump already. They're way past the point. They're looking for now.
Chat, my camera's messed up, so I'm gonna...
Lots of stretching distance from Aqua up top. He's really making sure that he has every single angle so far, but is getting chopped down by many teams from that bottom side. Meldy has made it over that hill, and so is Journey from the bottom. And soon the ground just might fall in a little bit of a second. They still have one more pad to use, and yes, now we're all the way down back onto the road, but it pulls back through Old Bills as well. This is just chaos for some of these low ground teams, and as a result, everyone's just still lost inside mid ground. They don't want to peek over just set onto any other box. It's 25 players alive as we enter that 8th zone.
Okay, I believe we're good.
And and Squeeze, they don't even want any sort of part in that. Marino and Rifler, they want a piece of height. Vino gets a chunk taken out of him, bit up, chewed out, spat, and he needs to fight for his life. Otherwise, it might be time to drop all the way down. You can see Aqua just relentlessly trying to keep it.
Nice!
A big shot in the pursuit of doing so. Marine gets taken out, and so these guys will hold on to it even when things were looking so tough for Vino. Aqua stepping up when it mattered the most.
How much fuel do they have left in the tank, though? That's so many builds to be able to hold on to that spot up top to relieve all the pressure. Seti Kemi as well, overheating. Maximum overdrive for Seti, though, with that big 180 shot straight to the face. He buys a little bit of time, but the med mist is gone. Vidil is also down with floppers in hand. He's not able to heal from a safe and open all the way up to top 10, close to it at least. What a run from that duo as well. Seti's ready to do his own thing. A launch pad up top. What a catch, too. He was looking trapped, but he releases himself and is free. Gets a huge refresh and is still ready to go. Other side of the zone, looking to see what he can do next. 2 eliminations so far. I'm inside the top 6 right now. The solo performance is so clutch, so monumental from Seti. He can really just fly up these rankings.
He's got so many shots left in that striker pump, but he only has to hit a few. Can he hit some more max damage shots? It's going to be difficult. You can see there's teams up and above him, and even ones below, who seem to just have much more control, much more say in how things play out. But you can see
Sorry, chat.
that doesn't phase him. He continues to push through, gets a bit of an upgrade as well, and his journey into keeping himself in this game continues. Flodax trying to emulate some of that as well. They might actually run into each other, but Vino and Aqua might have a say before that time comes. Seti will hit max after max. How does he keep doing it? Your name's not Thomas. You can't hit shots like this. But he keeps it going. And with only 3 teams left in this one, Aqua and Vino, they know everything they need to do. Seti finally will be taken out. Flodax coming right back at him. And Vino just stalking his prey, waiting for him to try and make his way up the hill. But like a slithering snake, Flodax get past him right into the path of Aqua. And they will win this game. 2 games down off Spawn, and the one they get to play out, they win it all. What a performance, Shine.
Too many things happening in that one. Really good control of Vino. That's a really nice win. I'm gonna let you finish. But Seti, oh my goodness, those shots, barely even milliseconds of distance in between them in terms of time. That was just nuts to see on all sides, elims and the placement feed. I just think that was one of the most phenomenal games from EU.
That was insane. To think Aqua and Vino have literally been arguing all day just to go on and win that game. Really, really beautiful Fortnite being played for them. We're going to send it back to the desk to break all that down for you.
Okay, Boop, I'd like to apologize. You know, I know Thomas HD won the first 2 games, and your exact words were what again? So make sure that you repeat them about the bus path specifically.
Yeah, so if the bus path is on the slurp track side, Veno and Arca will win that spawn fight. And I mean, the footage shows itself, right? I am never wrong, unless I'm wrong sometimes.
Wow. You're setting yourself up for failure in the next 3 games, I'm telling you that, unless Aqua and Vino manage to come out every single game. You know, at the top of the show, I kind of tried to set this up perfectly in a way that we saw Mustache and Malabuka in Qualifier 1 only win 3 games of spawn, but win all 3 of those games. If Aqua and Vino are to hit a top 5 and qualify, they're going to need to do massive things on the games that they do manage to get off spawn. The one they've done off spawn so far, looking good. It's a victory royale. I do wonder, did they have them each other muted the whole time? Because, I mean, that's what Vino said. He said, I'm going to mute Aqua. We're going to play muted this entire game. And given they're on height and picked up a win, I'm thinking maybe at some point they probably unmuted in Discord and actually started speaking to each other. Regardless, seems to have worked out pretty well.
I mean, honestly, Veno and Aqua, they could probably play these games muted and still have the sort of synergy that they would have. You know, so much experience coming out from both of them. Always on the high ground. You know, Aqua used to be called always on height. And, you know, staying true to that name, still on top of it. 6 eliminations from Aqua. Not someone you would usually expect to be fragging out in this duo. Usually it's Veno that's dropping down. But Aqua is playing out of his mind. And, you know, like you said, all you need is a few games like Malabuka and Mustache showed. And you could just be making yourself to the finals.
I feel like every pro player at some point has been called always on height. You know, it's just like the amount of times I've seen that across the FNCS.
They're just trying to manifest it, you know? They're trying to manifest being able to control high ground and secure victory royales. My goodness. Cammy and Seti, I don't... Seti, can we just talk about you for just one moment, man?
Yeah, we can.
Just ridiculous.
You know, one of the things that I found very interesting is that in the previous game, we saw Cammy solo clutch up a bunch. Now we're seeing Sei's solo clutch up a bunch. And this is actually rather atypical, what I would say, from this duo. And, you know, looking back to them in trios, they're usually a team that does really well in not letting one player go down, right? They always stick together so well. They always manage to keep each other up in the game for pretty much the majority until they physically can. And these 2 games, they're just proving why individually both of these 2 players are just so talented.
Yeah, but you don't really want to let it get to that point, right? Like, if you're going out as a solo, then you've made obvious mistakes. We saw that in game number 2 as well. One of them went down early, and, you know, that space he hit.
Absolutely, the standing blue score is now popping up. I think it's to no surprise, Antlix and XWeez in first, 117 points. Now, in 2 of the FNCSs in Chapter 2, I think it was Season 4 and Season 6, I wrote it down, but I've lost it. They won qualifiers, right, so far. So these guys, like I mentioned, top show, do really well in the qualifiers, and so far they are setting themselves up for success. I also wrote down that in the other 2 seasons, Chapter 2, Season 5 and 7, also won qualifiers, just not the final round of it. So, you know, maybe a little bit cheat. So you can technically say they won a qualifier in Season 4, 5, 6, and 7, and it looks like they're trying to add Chapter 2 or Chapter 3, Season 2 to that list. Numbers.
I'm getting a little bit of PTSD there, Reese, from what you said about Jason and Chapix. If you're, you know, hyping them up a little bit too much here, but so just for reference, last qualifiers, so on Friday, in order to get that top 5 was 172 points. So Alex and XQeez, they are almost there. And I want to mention real quick, Rifty and Flodax, you know, those are, you know, as I am a Dutch boy, those are Dutch boys having a really, really good game this time. They used to land Daily Bugle back in the previous season, you know, really relying on that standard movement that you used to have in the game. No longer have that and now are able to adapt. Really, really impressive stuff.
Yeah, and you can see Aqua and Vino after that victory royale have gone up 33 points. Wow, I mean, they were last. So they were in 50th place. Now with the victory royale have flown themselves up to 17th place. 3 games remaining for them to kind of try and do that again. Maybe a 3rd time as well if they're trying to hit the top 5. Top 5 is a narrow gap to try and hit, so good luck.
It's all about the bus path. It's all about the bus path. You know, and we'll see. We've got 3 games. Anything can happen. Anything will happen, as Fortnite shows us. Now, everyone watching, we only have 3 games left. Remember, we're trying to make it in that top 5 to auto-qualify straight through to finals. Everyone else is playing for series points. Let's get ready to jump on that battle bus once again. 11-2K Shire Wager, over to you.
Thank you, Zeke. I'm just talking to the bus driver right now. He's asking us, Levin, where we want the bus to go. Is it the slurp side or is it the cave side for Command Cavern? What are you feeling?
I think I want to go back to the slurp side. I want to give Thomas and Trippin a chance to redeem themselves.
See, that's what I would do.
See a repeat of what we saw in that game. I think it's going to be a very interesting one. I hope you got your message through to your bus path guy just quickly enough, right? Because we're heading in quite soon, aren't we?
I think service actually just died down, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get that message. We'll have to wait and see exactly what the path actually looks like. So far, it's been a very interesting day of Fortnite in the first 3 games. This one, Levin, though, you talked about how Game 3 has changes. Game 4 is where the top of the board usually disappears, and we go to like a wild ride. There's like a weird filter on the game, and it's not like any of the others that we really watch.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple teams start rising up in the standings for sure. We're already starting to see some of the themes we discussed early on play out in terms of certain teams being able to do well under certain conditions. Will they be able to get those repeated conditions again? You ain't got to wait much longer. We're hopping into Game 4 right now.
Game number 4 for a bunch of these teams on the top side of the board. They just want to maintain control, don't want to go down. We don't want that shooting effect where the bottom of the board really rises up. And those are just kind of the thoughts of the big players up top. I want to see anything. It's all good. And we're going to be on that Cavern side. You're talking about giving Thomas HD another chance. Vino and Aqua dodged it completely. They're going slurping. This is what I expected. Maybe even take a little bit of a balance of both sides. Look at this. Vino is ready. Trippin had his drop. Thomas had his too. But they're just too fast. They both do kind of the same amount of damage, but that's the advantage of landing towards the slurp side, Levin. You get that full shield.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. They both landed at different sides, but clearly one side is superior at the moment. Thomas, I've seen you do crazy things, but to win here would be rough. The best option for him probably would be just to get out. But yeah, she has a different team to deal with here. Is that Stinner and Raid below him? What's going on at Command Cavern right now? It is Stinner and Raid. I think he wanted to go for the scan, but they have control of it. He just really needs to just get out of here. He's not going to be able to get Trippin up. Get out, come back for the reboot card a bit later, and go and look to try play a game that way. But coming into Game 4, nothing definitive coming out of Command Cavern just yet.
One thing we do know about that POI is that it has like many teams worth of loot even just left behind. So now the game kind of turns into this weird cat and mouse situation. Thomas HD obviously can't see exactly what's going on inside. Aqua and Vino can't see what's going on out. I just talked about it, and yeah, he goes down. No chance for him to really even escape. I was going to say, you know, will they camp the card? Will they kind of move? But that question is just way out the window.
Yeah, Thomas HD and Trippin will go down for the second game in a row early on. And another opportunity for Aqua and Vino to rise, maybe.
2-2.
Oh,
that's what it is right now.
Maybe not. Aqua's just gone down. Vino has to solo clutch now. But even he's down to such low HP.
We gotta go back. We have to be able to see exactly what's happening to Vino right now. It is Vidil and Noah Riley that have the drop down. Senna and Rayed are around as well. Close map. We are working against Snazy. But we're back over at this POI. Senna Rayed now getting into the conversation. Where is Vino?
Where is Vino? He was so low last time we saw him. And I wonder, even when O'Reilly and Vidil are now as well, this is all-out chaos towards Command.
Oh no.
See Vino, no, he got taken out. Back to the lobby. Both teams go down early on. Aqua versus Vino. Aqua and Vino.
Holy moly.
Thomas and Tayson.
You're not wrong with that though.
When Vino get taken out early. Dang, that's insane.
Nobody wins. Wow.
Who is, like, you know, usually teams can toss blame and things, but I'm not even sure what the comms even sound like. I think, you know, Thomas, I feel like with Trippin, instant depression into okay, now it's not that bad. They're down 2. You know, we're chilling now. It's
The
neutral.
silver lining.
Yeah, Aqua and Vino, you know, let's go to wait, please, hold up. No. Listen. No. Listen. It's like just, it's tough for them, man. It's, how do you come back from that?
Honestly, I don't even think they were comms, man. I think they probably were just both deafened up, you know, just, you can't, I don't even want to speak to you, and I don't want to hear you or anything you have to say right now. Probably is how that one's gone. I'm sure both of them went straight to Twitter as well to share their thoughts to the world.
Meanwhile, this fight is a little bit more cerebral, patient from both teams. Yet still as vicious. Close and Mappy never really let down. And Stacey and Bodisai, I just feel like as long as they're not the first ones going down, no matter how the fight goes, in the 2v1 advantage, they can always wrap up. On the other side, though, you know, they get stopped. And oh no, already first show crack is there. Flowers is basically 1v2ing. This is kind of crazy.
Ooh, that is filthy. No, scratch that. Matthew's down.
It's not too good, is it?
Now, Mappy in this case would be referred to as the milker.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So. Oh, dear.
Actually
Well,
makes a lot of sense. I don't want to be mapping that situation. I understand.
Yes, exactly. Ale LeBlue, put aside Snazy. Winning off spawn. This is one of them off spawn fights, Shire, where there's just not a winner. You know?
Yeah. Name me one off spawn fight where there is a winner.
Malibu Mustache.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
The viewers.
Actually,
the audience.
This is the audience
thousands and
wins.
thousands at home watching. We're all the winners, aren't we?
actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Unless you're a fan of one of the teams, then you know, then you're losing. There's multiple angles. You know, it's a what is it? Decahedron? I don't know my shapes,
The
but
dodecahedron, I think that's like 11 sides.
11 or 11?
Coincidence? I think not.
We learn geometry every day. Very nice. Ryan Rifla, what's going on here? Not really finding the right angles. See what I did there?
Ooh,
Yeah.
pause. That's crazy. That is crazy. You were clean with it, man. You were clean with it. If your favorite Fortnite commentator is Shywager, type cringe in the chat right now.
Says you, bruh.
Hey man, someone's got to do it, you know.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to.
No, they all do it.
This is you know, sometimes you win a game and you go on to do crazy things, interviews, talk shows, and all that. Other times you win a game, you're just swimming with the fishes down in the water. I heard a launch pad put down, so this is legit desperation from backside on Darkus and Mr. Satan. Two guys there with Dandir, and up to 83 points. They're looking mighty fine right now, climbing towards that top 5.
That right there is what I call the 11 Classic. People might not understand the greatness that just came down before their eyes there. They knew they were going down, so they just said, you are not getting a launch pad from this. We are going to place this launch pad, we are going to be eliminated, and you guys can just go away and profit nothing. Brilliant stuff. Right out of the 11 2K handbook right there. Phenomenal.
Very excited for that one. Maybe there was a way to, you know, deactivate pads a bit, get them back in your inventory. I think Jerky got halfway there with that one.
Ooh.
But we'll see we'll see how it rocks with a little bit. Head and Queasy on their side. Once again, a north zone, right? We talk about the half and halves when it comes to, you know, if you pull half zone, it's up to you to just kind of roll in and make the most out of the game. This is their POV of pulling half zone. Last time didn't go towards them. I was kind of feeling bad for them. You know, it's not every day you get these many north zones, but another one kind of put
all the way in there.
Who's leaving Rockin' and move to the sky. I mean, we just were, you know, complimenting them in terms of dealing with 11 Classic. This time, this is classic storm fight situation. That's the Shio Classic. You get a really good fight, right? Let me explain this one. You feel confident, you feel good. You can peek anything, you can go for crazy edits and make plays. But then you get humbled. You realize you're just shy of wager, you know? That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I've experienced that one myself. I've been shy wages quite a few times. So.
Why did I set it up like that? Now this is what I'm stuck with. That's crazy. At least I've got my launch pad with me, right? When I go down.
Well, at least you got your launch pad. That's true.
Yeah.
These guys got a launch pad. They're doing quite well today. Would you say these guys are the GOATs right now?
No.
Oh.
Flat out. I feel like they're the best survivors right now. There's a lot of chaos going around the entire lobby. Somehow Analex X-Squeeze are just dodging it, which is a skill upright of its own, knowing the best path to kind of get in that has the least resistance. I think that's what they're the GOATs at right now, but at the same time, I haven't really seen them deal with complete direct conflict, the crazy one-off situation where they come off alive. Seen Thomas do that a little bit. Sockboy and Vino kind of stray away from that completely with maximum control. Instead, he also being that situation with the clutch, but they are definitely in the lead. For context as well, yesterday, top 5 was 172 points. They're at 117 right now, so have way more than just even half of the job done. With 3 more games left, Analex X-Squeeze, the way they're playing today, I feel like they should be top 5 if all things go well.
Yeah, it would be really tragic to see them fall out of that one. We have seen mightier falls though, and so they'll have to keep up on the pace, but they have done a brilliant job up to this point. Definitely would have surprised some people. It's not necessarily been the smoothest of seasons for Analex and X-Squeeze, especially in the past couple. But this might be the rejuvenation they needed to get themselves back firing on top form in their primes, as Resub I'm sure would love to say and point out.
The amount of primes that Resub has pointed out, it's making me question the term of the word.
Maybe
you can only have one prime, no?
Well, well, yeah, you can only have one prime, right? More times than not. But I think Resub's just like stuck in the past, you know. He's just reminiscing about all these players when they're at their best and whatnot, you know. Start living in the present, Reese boy.
The present, his name is now Peace Hub, actually. For both the control and just trying to, you know, have good relations with all the mans.
Peace
across the board, I think, yeah. 100%.
Jinked him.
Mum, if she's watching. Feel bad just hearing it, you know. Feel a bit bad, but. Back to Fortnite. We're over here at Rocky
so
Reels.
Weird, man.
I don't know where we took that, man. We took that off the rails there for a second. Let's get back on track. A reboot here coming out from Peach, trying to get Blade back in the game. We talked about the struggles they'd faced earlier on, and it seems to have just continued along that pattern. The reboot isn't even going to be easy for him to get off. He's getting pushed even in the storm here at Rocky. And actually will be taken out by Fnayan and Rabid, who are probably just taking out their frustrations from last game, right? Got contested over at Chonkers and had a tough time. And now able to say that they have elimination for this game. And the loadout's not looking too bad either. Plenty of heals to use once they get back in zone and deeper into the game as well, to make some zone plays if necessary.
This is where damage really has to come out, though, for some of these teams. They've been chilling a little bit too much, maybe just waiting to see what can happen. A Cavern team actually going down in the feed. Fury rocking in, taking out Rayet completely. Stella should still hopefully be alive somewhere, but for Fury as well specifically, I mean, this is also, correct me if I'm disgustingly wrong, his second appearance this season. I'm trying to find his name on last week's chart. Maybe I'm just overreading it completely, but him and Bubak rocking in. They definitely were in Qual 1 as well.
What?
Those are legendary names, no pun intended, in the right of their own. They should all be rocking and doing really well, no?
Well, according to my resub meter, they're not in their primes, and so it's looking unlikely they'll have to try regain some sort of form. But I think the big thing, right, with a lot of these...
Come on. It's the worst timing.
Me?
Almost combos.
No white health.
Felix is sweating now.
So bad.
I'm
Both
sweating
these
forward.
players, they had this strat. They've done this, what, 3 times now in Surge? And I think they're pretty content with it so far. They've survived a little bit to get towards endgame at least. This is the scariest they've looked so far, though. And I think one of the issues is selecting the place where they're basing up for this position. You may as well move in beforehand as soon as you see the zone. Try to get active and maybe even have some people shoot at you so you have something to shoot back at.
They need
They're playing so passive.
Surge so bad. Like, I'm not kidding.
The shield keg from far away as well. They understand that this team's low on Surge. They'll go for desperate lurches for picks, and it's just, I mean, so lonely for them right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to find much from where they are. As you mentioned, the lines of sight aren't optimal, and so they'll have their shot.
Oh god, his health is triggering my OCD, chat.
I know you're feeling confident right now.
Jesus.
Got to make sure you keep building, sorry. He's trying to go towards the south along that Daily Bugle side, and there's not going to be many teams sort of behind them, and so they should just be able to run their way in nicely. Nice and easy.
Weather's nice for Seti and Cammy right now. They're trying to build a home inside this top 5. I think this is one of the games that can really solidify that. 95 points. They kind of went out or have a really good performance in this one. We get all the way towards the 130s, the 140s, and then they're kind of one game away from locking in qualification. So very important game for them. Basically the last one that Analex and Xsqueeze also have to play over here. 120 points. Looking.
Oh my god.
There's about 30 or 40 more so up for grabs if they make that top 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, and can we just, again, give Seti his flowers for absolutely inhaling all of mid-ground last game as a solo?
Both nostrils.
Yeah, crazy stuff from him. We've got a replay on our hands. What's Mr. Andalex doing? Damage. That's what he's doing.
Maybe I'm just not like being, I think, kind enough to this duo here. I just feel like I've seen Andalex. I'm in resub mode, you know, at super prime beforehand, and I kind of expect this from him. But what they are doing is truly great. I mean, every situation, the best possible outcome, the best possible result is forced by this duo's hands.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of actually being able to do damage, right? And that might sound like, well, they're Fortnite players. Obviously, they can do damage, Levin. What you on about? But, you know, I've seen a lot of teams in that sort of southeast of the map, especially when Zone is sort of just pulling up north, just not being able to get enough damage, right? Not finding the right positions, the right fights, the right tags, and they've done a great job of that. So that alone has just allowed them to sort of keep themselves in these games. And then what they've been able to do on mid-ground, very much doing their best Malabuka and Mustache impression at times in these games. Just absolutely having full control and eliminating anybody that stands in their way.
So Seti, Cammy, and Alexa Squeeze both have goals to hit. I feel like on the other side of things, we just saw Hen and Queasy, we saw Noah Riley and Vidil on your screen right now. They have tests for themselves this game. It still feels like they're kind of rocky coming into this qualifier in terms of what their identity's like, whether they do have that control that you mentioned, Levin. Hen and Queasy obviously tagged up on a rotation before. Noah Riley, Vidil, Surge issues all the way until that half and half. Can this be the game where they kind of find that solidification and then have good performances on the last 3?
We've seen them have pop-off games, and all it does take for them, right, is a bit of luck here and there. And it's a shame, because I feel like they're so skilled, they shouldn't have to rely on that, but if they do pull a couple zones here and there and get into the right positions, they are going to hit the shots, they're going to get the eliminations, and they're going to rack up on points. And once that momentum starts going, oh, it gets very scary for everyone else in the lobby. It gets very, very scary. Once you start looking at the feeder, you see O'Reilly hit a couple one pumps back to back. Things get very, very silent all around.
Hen and Queasy will have to deal with their own fears first. Right now, the aim of the game, it's not about the VR currently, it's not about the positions either, it's just about the damage. Look at the right side of the screen. Hen and Queasy beforehand, we just switched off the POV. We're only about 85 above. Our skill T chips for the moment.
Not good at all.
More damage below. Fury also going down in the feed. Some of the most totemic type duos, the ones that are non-moving, just look so good in terms of defensive capability as well. they're going down. A lot of our hard hitters for damage have not done enough so far and are falling under the pressure. Artskill and T-Chips forced to go for this fight. What an edit. What a few shots dealt to Artskill. T-Chips now will get struck down by either of the enemy players or that lightning shortly.
He's gonna die to...
Has to find some way to do more damage. 10 above is not enough.
Yeah, he's going to keep reopening that edit, but he literally could be tickled and he'd go down right now. So needs to just hold on a minute. He'll get some time to use some shields, get his HP up. It's a shame for a duo who we have seen be so consistent in getting into the end game. Very much struggling in third place. Will it hold? Well, that all relies on T-Chips and his ability to stay in this one. On the right side of your screen, you can see Jerdy having some struggles of his own. The pad will come through and that hopefully will be able to take him.
This one works, let's
to
go.
Zone. But he's got to be careful as he comes in, using the tree as cover. And needs to stay out the line of fire. Oh dear, almost just walking into some shots. Kira actually goes down. They weren't able to stay tight.
Dang.
But DC has his eyes set on Andrea, and that's a huge shot from Jerdy. He had the edit there. And then Jerdy didn't expect it. It's a shame he couldn't hit a bigger shot. That very much could have been a nice little knock for him. And even as a solo with such low HP, he's operating fully confident, unwavering directness right now. But we'll see how long and how far that can take him, because it only goes so long without the actual HP to back it up.
Yeah, I'm wondering what he sees on his screen, if like someone's taped sticky notes of a launchpad icon and shields in his inventory with full mats as well. If you're a solo in that situation, you do that much damage to someone's shield crack in there and they're getting focused, I feel like a dive in is absolutely necessary. Unfortunately, yeah, the confidence just rolls in and he doesn't actually dive in for it. Looking at Marine right now as well. Solo on Surge, and one of the disadvantages of the ADS is how you can't really see what's happening possibly right in front of you. Dived by Vico and taken out.
Yeah, those guys didn't even have a clue about what was going on. How is Andalexa solo? That is the question everybody will be asking, but we ain't got time to answer it. We just have to get to zone. He's gliding up in the sky, plenty of players around him as well, but he just has to be the one that doesn't get hit, because he can't afford to take much damage right now. And he knows that he just wants to get right in, and you can see he hits that player for white HP. That might be the trigger to continue, but no, he takes a moment to slow down and use the mini he has available to him. But Shio, this is now so difficult for Andalex. We've seen him have solo clutches before though, and that mode might have to be activated right about now.
So difficult for all those three teams in those POVs. A bunch of them just forced down to the ground, and that entire place is so rocky. Water randomly filled in certain places. Andalex decides to stay a little bit higher and drier, and Drena's back in this game too, taking out Noah Riley inside the feed. A trade though from Vidil, and that duo starts to trade blows, have a conversation that does not go polite whatsoever. We switch over to Cammy, a little bit away from that solo clutch for some duo dynamics. Him and Seti also switching up layers, moving side by side and driving on this layer at least, and have one person, one pit stop to make to maybe change the tires underneath their fast vehicle and start to make a few more laps around the lobby. It'll be a mini little bounce back and stretch towards a different side. Cammy sees the pad as well, then actually hits it, gets a breath of fresh air up top. It's Wise who has high ground. They might be looking to challenge it in just a second. Nope, Seti and Cammy just gliding by.
Alright, chat, I'm gonna end stream, so yeah. See y'all later. I'm out.